Hey babes, welcome back to my channel and thanks so much for watching. Usually this is a fashion channel, but today I'm going to do more of a lifestyle and health video and share how I have lost, I think at this point it's like 15 pounds over the last few months. I'm going to share my tips and tricks for eating healthy, what workouts I do. I have a Q&A coming, so make sure that you use the chapters, which are like the timestamps if there's like one particular thing that you're looking for. And I hope that if you guys have had any questions about my weight loss over the past few months, then this answers them. And if not, leave a comment below. While you're down in the comment section, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I would love to have you join along. I put up 3 videos a week in fashion, but some lifestyle content, and I would just love to have you. Also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. I have lots of giveaways going on there now that it's the holidays, but I also share a lot more about my fitness and my health there, just because it's so much easier with Instagram stories. And before I forget to say it, I am 25, I have never had children, and I am not currently pregnant. I'm not on any medication that causes like weight gain or, you know, your body to hold weight. I don't have any crazy health issues. So I just want to make sure like I kind of cover that before, you know, we get into it. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do the Q&A at the end because I feel like I can answer a lot of questions in the beginning. So I wanted to start out with how and why I got started working out. That is one of the #1 questions that I got. And I mean, how do I keep going? So I actually got started with my weight loss like journey. It actually wasn't planned. It wasn't something like in 2020 I was like, I'm gonna be fit. It was just quarantine. I really started to get depressed. Quarantine started for us around March 17th. I think it was like St. Patty's Day, and it was so unexpected. Like, our governor was one of the last to shut our state down, and so like I think it was like a Tuesday, we just went to work and we kind of knew he was going to be making a statement about it, but nothing really, you know, didn't really expect highly of him. And so literally midday we just all were sent home, and it, you know, wasn't prepared. We weren't prepared for it, and at the time I feel like we didn't know anything. Everyone was just terrified. It's still scary, but I didn't know anything, and so I didn't want to see my parents because, you know, I had been out and I didn't know if I had been exposed. And at the time my husband was at a different job, and so he was at people's homes. We didn't have a mask mandate yet. We were one of the last states to get that as well. And so he was going into people's homes and they didn't have masks on, and it was just, I was scared. So I was by myself for like 18 hours a day, and I started to really struggle with like mild depression. I've never really struggled with depression before, but I could feel it, and I kind of suspected that that's what it was. And so I looked up just like ways to, you know, help mild depression, and at the time a lot of them were not available. We couldn't, you know, do certain things, and so one of them was like go outside and go on a walk. So I went outside and I went on a walk, and it made me feel a little bit better. You know, I got outside, got some sun, got to breathe fresh air. And so the next day I went on another walk, and then the next day I kind of went on a little half jog, and I noticed how much better I was feeling after working out. And then I started to notice I was sleeping better, and I kind of liked the way that my body was looking a little bit more with just, now this was just jogging, this was like March, very early workout. And that's kind of how it got started. So from there, I started jogging a little bit more. I did not at the time eat healthy. I just only was working out. And I did a few different workout programs. I'll talk about those more in a second. But that's how I got started. I was just trying to kind of like basically quote unquote treat mild depression that was caught on by quarantine and COVID. And it was just, that was a great way for me to kind of get all that bad energy out, go outside, get some fresh air, get some sun, and just feel a little bit more normal. Okay, so how I kept going. So again, at the time when I started, I was not eating right. So it was actually March when I started. I did not start taking my workout super serious until the end of May. And what was happening is basically I would lose a few pounds, then I'd gain it back, and I'd lose a few pounds and I'd gain it back. And I really didn't care. I kind of was like, I'm working out, it's gonna be fine. But I would gain all the weight back. And there was one day that I was just like, you know, I really liked the way I look when I had lost a few extra pounds, and I liked the way that I could kind of see my leg muscles shaping back to what they used to be. And I was like, what if it's not about being skinny? Like, what if it's about being strong? And something in me, it just clicked. Like, that just made so much more sense for my brain. Who gives a crap what the scale says? And while yes, like, this is a video about losing weight, and like that was, you know, a goal of mine, and it still is, my brain just handled it differently when I looked at it as like, I want to see my muscle cuts, I want to do resistance, I want to really do strength training, I want to be strong more than I want to be skinny. And that was just what worked for me. A big way I keep going is, I mean, I think that everyone's kind of looking for, I used to do this, I used to like look for this one, sorry, I keep like scratching my hand if you see the redness, by the way. I kept looking for, you know, this like one perfect quote that would be like, ah, oh, that's what it is, that's what will click and make me want to work out, or like waiting for this one picture I'd see on Pinterest to like inspire me to work out. Like, if you want to be in shape, if you want to get fit, you're just gonna have to do it. And I hate to say that because it sounds so like harsh and like not at all helpful, but it's just like, if you want to start a blog, like my advice, just start a blog. Like, if you want to get in shape, just get in shape. You have to be the reason that you get in shape. No one's gonna do it for you, no one's gonna hold your hand. If you want to get fit, you have to get fit. And I mean, also, it definitely helps when you see the number on the scale going down and you see those abs forming, and, you know, people start to ask you, are you losing weight? And you start to notice like your muscles are stronger. And a big thing was like, I started to notice that like I could do 10 push-ups no problem, and that used to absolutely destroy me. And now I can do like 25 push-ups, and it's just, I started to notice these little things that made me motivated to keep going, to keep pushing myself. All right, so I want to talk about what I eat / my diet. And a lot of people are like, you shouldn't use the term diet because you're not actually dieting, or for, you know, various reasons. My doctor refers to it as a healthy diet. She, like, both of, I say he and she, my gynecologist and my regular doctor, they'll just say like, healthy diet, do you have a healthy diet? And so I'm not necessarily meaning like, I don't do any certain kind of diet. I don't do keto, I don't do any of that stuff. I count calories, but that's really it. So when I say diet, I mean just like a healthy diet. So basically what's always worked for me is counting calories. That's how I lost weight before my wedding. It's how I maintained a certain weight for the past few years. I would like roughly count calories just to kind of make sure that I wasn't eating like 3,000 calories a day. And so in May, when I finally like was sick of seeing the scale go back and forth and back and forth, and I was like, you know what, I want to be strong, I used the MyFitnessPal app to start counting calories again. So I've used that forever, but I do like, I mean, that's like the one app I've ever used to count calories, but I took it more serious. And when I say again, I mean, I like started really kind of tweaking, like I want to lose a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of time. So like, I think you can set it to like, you want to lose 1 pound a week or something like that. And it will kind of tell you like, what's your weight versus what's your goal weight. You know, it goes through kind of all the questions for you. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out on how many calories you should be eating a day. But I started to really take that serious. And with that, I started to eat healthy because I could realize I could eat a crap ton of healthy foods and only like 3 really junky, bad for you foods. And I was like, you know what? I'm a snacker. I like to eat a lot. I would rather eat like 30 snacks a day than 3 small meals. And so I started eating healthier, and that's just kind of how I got my quote unquote healthy diet started. And again, it was just all because I wanted to be strong. And I knew that feeding my body with those really good nutrients and, you know, giving it what it wanted was not just gonna help me lose weight, but it was gonna, you know, help me get stronger. And even more than that, like my mental clarity is a lot better. I am sleeping better, and my skin is happier, my hair is happier. And so eating healthy and truly just counting calories was all I really did. And I do take it very serious. I get people that ask, do you put everything that you eat in that app? Yes. It does not matter if it is junk. Yes, I put it in there because, like, and I'll talk more about like cheat days and stuff like that. I keep doing this in this video. I'll talk more about that in a second, but like, it's only gonna work if you are consistent, accurately tracking the calorie counting and all that. And you guys, I mean, this is just what works for me. What works for me may not work for you. So I hope you kind of understand that this is just what works for me. Counting calories was a big way that I was able to kind of get rid of my bad eating habits. That's kind of just like how I get a healthy diet. I will link below my what I eat in a day like / grocery shopping list blog post for you guys. I have not done a video on it because again, like I want to keep this channel a lot of fashion, and it's kind of all over the place. I don't really eat the same thing twice, and so what I did was I just basically listed out all of the food that I'll eat for lunch and all of the food that I'll eat for dinner plus what we buy when we go grocery shopping, and then it's just always kind of a variation of that. So that's more or less what I eat and a little bit about my like healthy diet. But I mean, I think I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again in this video. Like if you want to be healthier just in terms of eating and not so much exercise, like you're just gonna have to eat healthier. That's it. There's no secret. I had a girl ask me one time, she said, what's your secret for losing weight? Is it just dieting and exercise? And I was like, yeah, that's not really a secret. Yes, just tracking what goes in my mouth, whether it's an M&M or a banana, and working hard when it comes to like working out. Like I sweat a lot. All right, so that's pretty simple when it comes to the food. And again, I'll talk about cravings and how I do cheat days and all that in a second, but I do want to touch on workouts. So I started by jogging. I did never track my runs apart from just using my Apple Watch, like knowing how long I ran. And then I originally started with Obey Fitness, and that's more of like a continuous class type. Like I think they do have an app, but it was a desktop site that I used for Obey Fitness, and I liked it. I felt like it wasn't challenging, and so once I really started to take my health and fitness serious, I actually switched to MyOpenFit. Now I also really like MyOpenFit. I think it's way better than Obey, but I have discovered after lots of trial and error that I am not someone who, I don't like a continuous class. I like resistance workouts, I like strength training, and it was just like I was just doing these 30-minute one full class, and I was having to like look up at the screen while look down and do my exercise, and I just wasn't, after some time I wasn't really clicking with MyOpenFit. So if you're someone who can do like a continuous class, whether it be Pure Barre, Pilates, anything like that, I highly recommend MyOpenFit. I think it is such a good program. It just didn't work for me because me and both my mother actually do resistance training now, and we just prefer it over like a full class, if that makes sense. So after, actually I think it was just before my friend's wedding in June, I actually switched to Sweat. It is known as Sweat or BBG or Bikini Body Guide, and that is what I do now. So that is Kayla, I cannot pronounce her name, I'll put it up on the screen, her program. She fully created this app. You do have to pay for it, but it's not that expensive, especially compared to like gym costs. You can tell she worked so hard on this program, and actually I tried the Sweat app a few years ago and it did not work for me. She actually has reworked it now. So you actually start out, you don't do BBG 1.0 or BBG Classic. You start from like the BBG, and she kind of like eases you in. I think it's an 8-week program, 3 times a week. That's it. She'll ease you into getting into shape, and then you start BBG 1.0, and it is intense. It is hard. You're working out the whole time. It's a lot of resistance. You do have some cardio in there, but strength training, and I just find that that works a lot better for me. If I had to pick between only cardio or only strength training, I would 100% do strength training. I don't think anybody should just do cardio. It doesn't work as well as strength training, because more like muscles burn fat over time, and when you do cardio, like you're actively burning those calories, but then when you're done, I mean, that's essentially it. There is a little bit more that goes into it, but that's essentially it. If you're strength training and you're building up your muscles, when you're sitting at your desk later not working out, that muscle is still burning fat. So now I do the Sweat app. Me and my mother both do, actually, and she is 53 and I'm 25, and we can both do it no problem. If there is a problem, we just look up the alternate workout and we're good to go. Now, I also do cardio. So what I do now is 3 times a week I do the Sweat app. So we'll do, I think it's legs first, then we do arms and abs, and then full body. We do that like Monday, Wednesday, Friday usually. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I run. It is important to take time off. Do not push yourself every single day. Your body needs a break. I didn't realize that for a long time, and that is why I hit a weight loss plateau a couple times. But I use the Couch to 5K program because I would love to ideally be running a 5K every time I run, and I just can't like go out and run a 5K. I take some training. So I'll put the app up on the screen of the exact one that I do. You do have to pay for it. It's just like, I think it's a one-time like $2 or $3 fee, and then it's done. It's 3 times a week you run for a 9-week program, and by the end of the 9 weeks you are fully running a 5K. And if ever I get slack, I'll just start it over. But I do run 3 days a week. I do resistance training 3 times a week, but every time I work out, it's only for 30 minutes. I don't spend hours doing it. That's why I like Kayla's program. That's why I like Couch to 5K. It's 30 minutes and then you're done. I'm trying to look up my apps. Okay, so I do intermittent fast. I did forget to mention that in my dieting part. So I actually started intermittent fasting in February pretty seriously, and it is a lifestyle now. It's not something I'll probably ever change from because it's just easy. And I'm not gonna ever be dramatic about it. I'm not gonna make a big deal. You know, you hear people, they're like, I'm on keto, and they want to tell everyone they're on keto. Like, I don't tell people intermittent fast. If I end up, you know, having a lunch meeting and they want to start at 11, like, I'll just eat. I'm not gonna like punish myself and be like, no, I don't eat till 12, I'm sorry. And if, like last night, we were at a friend's house, like we didn't get there until later, and I think we started eating at like 8 o'clock, and usually my fasting window closes then, and it didn't last night. I just was like, you know what, whatever. But I do use Fastic just to make sure that I am actually being accurate with intermittent fasting. There are a few different like time windows that you can kind of come up with based on your body. Do research, ask your doctor. I do not know, but I do the 16-8 power window. So for 16 hours I fast, for 8 I don't. So I start eating at 12 and I am done by 8 p.m. And then from that time until the next 12 o'clock at the next day, I am fasting. Okay, I feel like I'm rambling on, but I'm just trying to make sure I cover everything and kind of also like preface that I'm like not an expert. I just kind of do what works for me. So now I'm gonna answer your questions. And before I do this, I will show my before and after. So my personal health goal, and I did wait until now to share this because I'm not here to debate about it. My goal, it was to lose 22 pounds, and it still is. That is my end game, is where I started to where I end up is 22 pounds. I'm currently at, I think it's like 14.9 pounds, like 15 pounds is how much I've lost. And I've asked doctors. I went to the doctor a month or so ago and I asked like, hey, this is my weight, my goal weight. Is this good? Like, am I good with that? And it was approved on all fronts. So again, I'm not here to debate about that, but my goal was to lose 22 pounds and I have had some setbacks. But basically this is where I started back in March. I took that in March. And again, I didn't truly start to take my fitness serious until I think it was like May. And that body's beautiful. That body is strong. It's just not where I wanted to be mentally and physically. And so I took this picture and I think that was down like 7 pounds maybe. I can't quite, I think it's 7 pounds. And so that was kind of when I was going back and forth between like, you know, losing weight, not losing weight. And then this is what I look like. I think this was taken like 2 weeks ago. So that is down. At the time, I think it was only about 13 pounds. I am very proud of that body. I worked hard for that body, but that body is just as beautiful as the body that I started with. I wanted to wait until now to like talk about this because I think like we are so much more than the number on the scale. And it's just something that I needed to do for my mental health, and I've just felt a lot better since working out and eating healthy. But I mean, my body was beautiful then, it's beautiful now. So for the Q&A, this was like, you guys, you asked a lot of the same questions, but you guys asked a lot of questions. So I will start with, are you counting macros? If so, is that every day or like the 70-30 situation? So I don't really count macros, I just count calories. Again, it's just what's easiest for me. And I use that one app. It's very simple. People ask me like, what's the macro on that? And I'm like, I just usually, if I don't know something, I'll just like scan it with the MyFitnessPal app. And I'm like, there you go. There's my calorie count. How often do you cheat on your diet? All right, let's talk about this. So since I don't have a true diet, like I'm not on the keto, I'm not on the this, I'm not on the that, I can eat. I pretty much have cheat days whenever I want. That is truly what I can say is been the reason I've been able to keep up the consistency of working out and eating right. is I don't restrict myself from anything. If I want a cookie, I eat the cookie. I just count the calories. If I want a bag of M&Ms, I'll eat the bag of M&Ms. And if I go over my calories, that's fine. I don't punish myself. That is how I have been able to keep consistent. Is I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna diet, and I would cut myself off from eating everything chocolate. And that's just an example. So I'd cut myself off from it. I think I can't eat it. And then I'd be like, oh, you know what? I've already cheated. I ate 1 cookie. So let me eat 13 cookies. And that was how I would fail. And I don't cut myself off from anything. I don't restrict myself from anything. There's no drama about it. If I want a cookie, I eat a cookie. If I want a brownie, I eat a brownie. And so I don't really have like cheat days. If I want to eat chocolate, I just eat chocolate. And that truly, if that makes sense, has just been the way I've been able to stay consistent. So how often do you cheat on your diet? Pretty much whenever I feel like it. I just count the calories. What's some of the healthy meals and snacks you like? So again, I will link the blog post below where I kind of talk about like all what I eat in a day. My favorite kind of snacks are like the Skinny Pop popcorn. I like regular popcorn. I really like Fiber One bars. I love fruit. Like I eat bananas, apples, any kind of berry, any kind of fruit, I will eat it. Peaches. I don't love to eat vegetables as snacks, but if I do, I'll eat like broccoli or carrots. And the more you eat healthy, the more you'll crave healthy foods. And you guys, I literally could eat like 100 bananas or pineapples or strawberries. Like my mouth is watering thinking about it right now. So I like fruit as good snacks. But for a healthy meal, I really like chia seeds with a little bit of almond milk and some fruit on top. I really love the Zaxby's garden salad with light ranch. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, I kind of post that kind of stuff. I could literally talk for days about the food I could eat, but I mean, that's just healthy. I do still eat pizza. I do still eat tacos. I do still eat chips and queso. Like I said, like I don't truly ever have like a cheat day. So if I just want like chips and guac, I'll eat chips and guac. Favorite workout clothes, 110% Fabletics. I get that question because I am like a Fabletics ambassador or partner or whatever you call it. And people are like, do you really like Fabletics? I'm like, one, I don't share things I don't really love ever. Sponsored, not sponsored, sent to me free, not sent to me free at all, whatever. I never share it if I don't like it. But Fabletics actually started sending me stuff because I was buying their stuff and I was like tagging them in every time I would wear it. And like my favorite running shoes are Fabletics. My favorite sports bras are Fabletics. I think Fabletics is the best. I love their workout set. And actually, I have this sitting here to take a picture of for tomorrow. How cute is this set? Oh, it's very stretchy, which is why it looked like it was half the size of my chest. But Fabletics without a doubt. I do have an Amazon video on workout clothes, but I do still reach for my Fabletics way more. What inspires you to get healthy and work out? Just the way I was seeing my body change, getting stronger, like people saying things about, you know, are you losing weight? And specifically like the last 2 weeks, my husband says something about my abs like every day. He's like, you have abs, like look at your abs. And so he's really started to notice them the past couple weeks, and so that kind of like keeps me inspired to keep working out. But I mean, again, I needed to start doing something active for my mental health, and it just kind of took off from there. Do you think you will continue intermittent fasting in the long run? Yes. So my mom actually intermittent fasts. Actually, I think my dad does too. Almost everyone does that I know, except for my husband, because he can eat whatever he wants and lose 10 pounds. Yes, my mom's been intermittent fasting for 3 years, and she says it's a lifestyle now. I've been intermittent fasting for, I mean, it'll be a year in February, and it's just a lifestyle now. My body is used to it, and there is an internal clock that tells me when it is getting close to 12 o'clock. So yeah, I could definitely see myself continuing that in the long run. How do you make it maintainable long term? Again, you just have to want it. No one's gonna hold your hand. If you want to stay in shape, you're gonna have to continue to work out. You're gonna have to continue to eat healthy. And you can have setbacks. That's totally fine. You're human. Don't punish yourself. But if you want it bad enough, you just gotta do it. You gotta stay with it, stay consistent. And again, it's just like 30 minutes a day. You don't have to kill yourself in the gym. You don't have to go for hours at a time. 30 minutes a day, that's all you need. And actually, I wear my Apple Watch and I highly recommend setting it. So mine, I have it set with the little rings that show on my main, it's upside down, but on my main screen. And I will show you guys, this is what my watch, like my activity and my movement looked like in February. And this is what it looked like just a few weeks ago. So I am way more active now. My goal every day is to complete all 3 rings, and that's basically move for 400, workout for 30, and stand for 12. Some minutes, some hours, but you can customize it, you know, however you want. I recommend getting something that you can track how many steps you're walking, how long you're working out. Because once you can also see it, I think it helps a little bit more. Like when you can see how many calories you're eating, it helps your decision making. But also when you can see that you have not worked out, you know, at all in the past week for not even 30 minutes, you're like, oh, I gotta get it together. What worked for you in regards to losing fat and toning your midsection? Girl, you got abs. So that is a mixture of cardio and strength training. I have done just cardio. It didn't work long term. I've done just strength training. It didn't work. I mean, I only did that for like 1 month and it didn't work. You have to do, like, kind of change them up. You got to kind of trick your body. And that's just what it is. You know, I mix up strength training and cardio, and then that's how I've kind of toned down my midsection. How did you move past your plateaus? So I have hit a few plateaus. Plateaus are good things when you hit them, guys. That is actually your body's way, I learned this, of catching up. So basically, if you were to lose 50 pounds and have no weight loss plateau in between there, your body's gonna freak out. It's not gonna be able to handle it. It's not gonna be able to support you, I guess, with the nutrients and everything that you need. And so the plateau is actually your body's way of being like, hey, give me a second. And sometimes it's harder to get over a plateau than it is other times, but I was in a plateau basically for all of August. I stayed within the same 2 pounds and it was the worst. How I moved past it was reverse dieting. I actually added more calories into my diet. I think it was like 200 extra calories until I got past the plateau, because I just needed to eat a little bit more, kind of shock my system a little bit. And then I also did a lot more high intensity interval training workouts. So like I would do my regular workout and then I would get on the treadmill and sprint for 15 minutes, or like sprint for 5 or 10. And that kind of like tricked my body into being like, all right, we gotta amp it back up. And that's just how I moved past it. But plateaus, again, are a good thing. That means your body's like, hey, you're losing weight, you're doing a good job, but like you gotta hang on for a second. I gotta catch up. So that's just kind of what worked for me, was high intensity interval training and adding just a few more calories into my diet. And then actually once I was past the plateau, I went back down to my normal calorie intake. Do you count calories? Yes. How did you get started? So what are your tips for your resting days and relaxing your muscles? So that's another thing, the Sweat app. She actually has low intensity interval workouts that she can recommend. Also, she shares what to do on rehab days, like little workouts that you could do, like little rollers on your body. I usually will just take like Sunday off and I just won't do anything, or I'll go on a very slow walk for 30 minutes. Like not at all trying to sweat. I'll just like basically go outside just to kind of get some fresh air. But I mean, I just will generally take the whole Sunday off when I'm not working out. I'm just like, I don't have any time for this. What are your fitness goals? Is there something specific you want to accomplish? So again, my goal is just really to lose 22 pounds, but I would really love to get a full 6-pack. Right now I have a 4-pack. I want a 6-pack, and I want it to look good because I'm going to the beach next year. I'm going to Jamaica and I need abs for Jamaica. What's your typical daily calorie goal? I know everyone's is different. So I will actually not be sharing this. And the biggest reason why is I've actually talked to a few like dietitians or people who kind of like specialize in this type of stuff before filming this video, because I didn't want to say the wrong thing. And the biggest thing that I got from a couple of them was, do not share how many calories you eat in a day, because one, you'll always have that person that thinks they need to tell you what you should do. But also, like, I don't want someone to think that they need to be eating the same amount of calories as me in a day. But I will tell you that it is normal, it is healthy. Again, I have talked to my doctors about it. I am very vocal with them about this whole journey, and they were like, yep, that's good, that's on track. It's, you know, not extreme, it's not a little bit excessive, it's good. Another part of that question was, how much water do you drink a day? So my goal, this is a 32 ounce, I think. My goal is to drink 3 full cups of this a day, or like any of the cups that I have, and I'm pretty good at that. I drink a lot of water. Again, MyFitnessPal for calorie counting, because it can take your height, your weight, your, you know, what your goal weight is, how much weight you want to lose each week, and it can kind of calculate it all for you. How did you get into a routine? I can't get myself to keep going after a few days, so that was a big thing. It's just 30 minutes a day. I look at it as like I'm giving myself a treat, like I am taking care of myself, and so 30 minutes a day is how I can stay motivated. I'm not having to spend an hour at the gym. I can do it all from home. It's quick, and then it's done. How many days out of the week do you work out, and what's the best time for you? So I work out 6 days a week. Best time currently, because my schedule, I work 9 to 5. It takes 40 minutes to get home. I get home at 6. Is I work out as soon as I get home, because if I sit down, I like won't work out. I'll lose all motivation. So I work out at about 6 p.m. except for on Saturday mornings. Like this morning, I worked out with my mom at 8:30. Can you do a what I eat in a day video? I have that in a blog post. So that's really it. I feel like I chatted a lot, but I want to leave you guys with one quote, and it is the quote that I literally lived my life by in 2020, and it is that you will not always be motivated, so you must always be driven. And that is something that literally I hear in my head every day. You're not always going to be motivated to work out. You're not always going to be motivated to work. You're not always going to be motivated to go out and paint your house. But you have to be driven, and if you're driven, you can do anything. If you're driven, you can make time to work out 30 minutes a day. You can make time to hit your business goals. You can make that time because you're driven enough. You want that house painted, you're gonna do it. Motivation will come and go, but drive is, you know, drive is who you are. So be driven, stay consistent. If you fall backwards a little bit, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up. Just brush yourself off and keep going. You are beautiful no matter what the scale says. You're beautiful no matter what the inches around your waist are. And I want you guys to know that. This is just what worked for me, and what worked for me again may not work for you, but I hope it does. I hope this inspired you guys. I hope it went all over the place. If there isn't anything that I covered, please leave it in the comment section below. Please leave it in the comment section below, and I will make sure that I get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like I talked a lot with my hands. I love y'all so much. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you in my next video.